Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. My pleasure to have with us here today Jeanne Liedtka. She authored The Catalyst. Jeanne, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
I'm terrific, and it's great to be with you.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Listen, you've witnessed how people can build pockets of greatness deep inside any organization. How did they do it, Jeanne?
Well, I think some of the sad news is about 50% of the managers we studied did it kind of on the fly, sometimes almost by outrunning the corporate systems and processes that had been set up supposedly to help them.
Yeah. Now, would you say outside of the protocol, okay, is that just instincts that they were able to perform this with?
Yes, I think we think of the managers that we studied as kind of the naturals. They're kind of natural entrepreneurs in many ways, but at the same time, they're entrepreneurs who know how to operate in a corporate bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And it did seem that they operated on this set of instincts that allowed them to figure out how to kind of navigate the bureaucracy and find and actually execute in these new business areas where other managers, equally qualified, but we think with kind of a different set of natural inclinations, just weren't able to get through.
All right. And these people, natural inclinations, are they born with it or are they made?
Well, we think it's a combination of what we've come to call repertoire, which is really the set of experiences a manager accumulates over his or her lifetime in many ways, but especially career experiences early on.
Yeah.
What we found almost to the individual was that these managers had an unusually broad background.
I see.
Even ones who had worked for the same corporation their entire careers, and we have some folks at GE who'd basically started there out of college, and some managers from places like Raytheon and Corning that had been there 30 years.
Yeah.
Even they had carefully moved themselves through almost every function in the organization.
Yeah. Now, growth leadership. What type of personality does it take to be a great leader in some of these organizations, Jeanne?
Well, it certainly takes an action bias.
Yeah.
What we found is that a strong trait in all the leaders was these were people who are comfortable with ambiguity and uncertainty. They didn't need to prove things before they did it. They could run with relatively limited data, and they were people very comfortable with experimenting with stuff. So they'd get an idea. Instead of doing a lot of analysis and a lot of PowerPoint presentations, they'd run with it and conduct what we called a small bet.
Yeah.
In the marketplace, get quick feedback from customers, and kind of iterate their way to pretty rapid improvement.
Yeah. Would you find that some of these leaders, they don't second guess themselves? They may even have a high level of confidence. This is what makes them great leaders in growth?
Absolutely. But, at the same time, they're pragmatists. What we found is they have kind of an unusual combination that they are very optimistic about the future and, as you've said, confident in their ability to shape the future and make things happen.
All right, bureaucratic obstacles can get in the way in some, but not with some of these growth leaders. They have workarounds, don't they?
But at the same time, they were realists.
Yeah.
They never used denial as a mechanism.
Yeah.
They were able to read the market accurately. They were able to take negative feedback and work with it.
All right.
And we really think it was that uncommon combination of confidence and optimism on one hand with an ability to face the facts, or, as one of them said, call the baby ugly when you need to.
Oh, yeah. Some of those only a mother could love, too, by the way, Jeanne.
Exactly.
All right, but these growth leaders, they have a way to maybe even streamline the bureaucracy, don't they? I mean, they can come in and say, all right, if I have to deal with this, can we deal with it this way?
What we found is that even though many of them told us that corporate systems and processes had gotten in their way, they all had a supportive boss.
Right.
And one of the things that those supportive bosses did was run cover for them.
Yeah.
And they had great influence skills. So in addition, from a personality viewpoint, in addition to a kind of an action bias, they all were people who had very good influence skills.
I see.
So they were able, they didn't run over top of other people. As one of them told us, I save my energy to fight in the marketplace, not in my own organization.
Nice.
So at the same time that they were often end running these obstacles, they were doing it in a very non-confrontational way.
Yeah.
And we think that kind of combination is what really made them effective.
Well, the growth leaders kind of pick and choose their battles, don't they?
Very much.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're comfortable keeping a lot of irons in the fire at the same time. They're trying a lot of different things, so they tend not to get overcommitted to any single idea.
Well, Jeanne, wouldn't you agree they keep a lot of irons in the fire because that's what keeps them peaked, that's what keeps them going? These growth leaders almost thrive on that, don't they?
Exactly. Interesting. A question we often get asked is, are these people going to be CEOs someday?
Right.
And one of the things we think is we're not sure that's a job that many of them would like.
Right.
I mean, they like being where the action is. They like a lot going on. They are learners to an extreme degree. I mean, they actively seek out new experiences that are outside of their comfort zone.
Interesting. All right, so what's a good way to unlock this secret to growth? Because there is one, especially in turbulent and uncertain times that we're experiencing right now, Jeanne.
And, we think, as I look at the findings from our study, my sense is that, a lot of the advice that managers are getting about how to deal with these turbulent times is just plain wrong from what we've learned. We know that growth doesn't have to be expensive, and that starting with what you've got and building off of your current resource base and assets, rather than going out and bringing up new plants and investing a lot in new capital, is absolutely the way these people did it, even when times were good.
Right.
So there's a lot of opportunity. The other thing we noticed in these stories was, there wasn't any blazing original ideas or rocket science in their ideas. Generally, these were people who were very closely connected with the customers. They understood their needs deeply, and essentially they were tweaking the business model, but in ways that really allowed them to deliver often dramatically better value to their customers. And most of the things they did could have been done by any of their competitors, but this group of people saw the opportunity and seized it, and others it didn't even show up on their radar screen.
All right, so success in unlocking this secret, how do they keep the momentum going then?
Yeah, well, I think they were people who were really, again, close to their customers. Yeah. One of the stories that I always go back to is we asked one of the managers what it meant to be customer-centric, and he said to us, I'm not customer-centric, I'm Cynthia-centric, and told us the story of Cynthia, who was a young single mother who'd spent a big chunk of her discretionary income to buy this customized candy for her son's birthday party.
Yeah.
And then the candy arrived the day after the party.
Oh.
And the manager said, I think about Cynthia and where we failed and what we need to do to make sure that never happens again.
Right.
That's the kind of connection that these managers have with their customers. They're not demographic categories. They're not kind of faceless focus groups.
Sure.
These are real people, and they look at opportunity through the lens of how can we make their lives better.
Right. All right.
And I think there's more opportunities to do that in today's environment than in good times.
All right. No, I have to agree with you right there. All right. So, Jeanne, where can we find a copy of The Catalyst today?
Well, it came out last week, so it's available on Amazon and in Barnes & Nobles and Borders, and hopefully your local bookstore.
Very, very nice. Congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Oh, you're more than welcome, folks. We have Jeanne Liedtka with us here today. The name of the book is called The Catalyst. Head out today, just like Jeanne said, to Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, some great bookstores. Wherever fine books are sold, they support the guy in the corner in your local bookstore, too. He's got it, too. All right. Now, Jeanne, do you have a website or anything else outside of the book?
Sure. Growthleaders.org is our website.
Growthleaders.org, growthleaders.org. Head on over there today. Jeanne, thanks for your time. Do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You're more than welcome. All right. Jeanne Liedtka, folks. Head on over to their website. Pick up a copy of The Catalyst today. Great, great information. Okay?